Namaskar. Welcome to this edition of News Bulletin. In the headlines today, let's develop, support and promote indigenous suppliers to fulfill the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, says CEO Rourkela Steel Plant. And more number of employees of Rourkela Steel Plant coming forward for plasma donation. Now the news in detail. Let's develop, support and promote indigenous suppliers to fulfill the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, said Mr. Deepak Chattaraj, CEO, Rourkela Steel Plant, while addressing in the Confluence the Knowledge Series held on the topic Atmanirbhar Bharat, an overview and approach prospects for RSP. The objective of the session was to gear up RSP for meeting the goals with regard to making India self-reliant in every aspect. The program was attended by more than 100 executives, including senior executives including Mr. P.K. Dash, ED Works, Mr. Rajveer Singh, ED P&A, Mr. D.K. Mohapatra, ED MM, Mr. Pankaj Kumar, ED Projects, Dr. B.K. Hota, Director MNHS, and Mr. Praveen Nigam, CGM FNA. In his address, Mr. Deepak Chattaraj said that the clarion call of the Honorable Prime Minister for making of an Atmanirbhar Bharat has strengthened the determination of the plant collective to make high-quality indigenous steel to meet the nation's requirement and thereby contribute in nation building. Mr. Chattaraj stressed on optimum resource utilization, reduction in inventories, cost control, product rationalization, and garnering support of the stakeholders for achieving all-round growth. He urged everyone to encourage budding entrepreneurs, support existing ones, and finding out indigenous manufacturers of spares and equipment so as to enable important substitution. The CEO also advised the HODs of different shops of RSP to take steps for minimization the OEM, OES requirements and augment procurement of items through government e-marketplace GEM as per government guidelines. Mr. Chattaraj also focused on our design department to make the drawings in-house for any modification in equipments and spare parts. Mr. P.K. Dash, ED Works, emphasized upon procurement of spares from local sources and promotion of MSMEs. Mr. Rajveer Singh, EDP&D, exhorted the RSP collective to follow the government guidelines for procurement of material. Mr. D.K. Mohapatra, ED focused on self-reliant India by creating both supply and demand. Mr. Pankaj Kumar, ED Projects, thanked the initiative being taken by Material Management Department to promote Atmanirbhar Bharat. Mr. Praveen Nigam, CGM FNA, stressed on reducing the trade deficit and aiming for trade surplus. Earlier, Mr. G.K. Dash, CGM made a presentation highlighting the relevant aspects and benefits of Atmanirbhar Bharat initiatives. This was followed by a presentation by Mr. S.K. Nayak, GM Finance, on budget allocations and other financial aspects of different departments at RSP. An interaction session held on the occasion witnessed senior officers and planning executives from various departments discussing their procurement patterns and procedures with the Chief Executive Officer. Ms. Rajshri Banerjee, GM in charge HRD, welcomed the gathering, coordinated the program and proposed a vote of thanks. Plasma donation is gaining ground in the Steel City with a number of donors who have developed antibodies against COVID-19 volunteering to donate the same at plasma banks set up at Espa General Hospital of Sale, Rourkela Steel Plant. So far, 83 units of the plasma have been collected from 42 persons, including 6 employees of RSP at Plasma Bank of IGH. The collected plasma units are being provided to different COVID hospitals of Sundargarh district for treatment of critically ill COVID-19 infected patients. 81 plasma units have been issued so far from the center. On 10th September, 2 employees of RSP, Mr. Gandharva Raj Nayak of CSR Department and Mr. Dipankar Das of Town Engineering Department donated plasma at IGH. Both of them braved the coronavirus and with effective medical management recovered from the deadly disease. The duo expressed their pleasure over the plasma donation and termed it as bliss after the traumatic experience of COVID-19. It is worth mentioning here that plasma containing antibody collected from the cured patients of COVID-19 has been proved to be lifesaver in the case of many critically ill COVID patients. Plasma donation is a safe and simple procedure, so efforts are afoot to motivate eligible COVID-19 survivors to come up for the same. Antibody screening test of recovered patients is being done at IGH Plasma Bank to detect potential plasma donors of the district. That's all for today's news. Namaskar.